Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us. This is Lourdes at Life and Work Connections at the University of Arizona. One of the great benefits for employees and students of the University of Arizona is having access to its sick and backup childcare program. Subsidized by the university, the program is available in the greater Tucson and Phoenix areas to current employees eligible for full benefits and currently enrolled part-time and full-time undergraduate and graduate professional students. This program provides access to a temporary caregiver service to care for your children from birth to 12 years old, either because they are sick and unable to attend the regular program, or when there is any unplanned or unscheduled interruption of your regular childcare arrangement. Life and Work Connections, a unit in the Division of Human Resources, serves as the program administrator and Trusting Connection is the current contracted vendor. Today, you will have the opportunity to learn more about this great service and meet Rosalind, co-founder of Trusting Connections, who is eager to share with you all the good work her team is doing. I'm going to transfer control to her so she can start sharing all the good news she has for you today.
Thank you so much, Lourdes. And I'm not sure, looks like I'm still seeing your screen.
There you are.
Perfect. Can you see me okay?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. Okay. So thank you all so much for being a part of this and for joining us for this call. I want to respect your time and make it as efficient as possible. So we're just going to dive right in here. Again, my name is Rosalind Prather. I'm one of TC's co-founders. My business partner and I are actually both U of A grads. And so it's really neat to see this all come full circle. We were professional nannies when we were studying at the U of A. And we decided to open our agency about 8 years ago here in Tucson. We have a really unique model because most agencies in the country do not employ their team of nannies and sitters. And it's something that Caroline and I have been really passionate about from the beginning for quality control reasons and just because we know that the IRS considers nannies and babysitters to always be employees, never independent contractors. And so we take on that responsibility so that the clients can not have to deal with all the legal and financial responsibilities of employment. Obviously, because of this model, it's enabled us to take on lots of corporate care contracts like the U of A. And then it was important to us that we took this unique model to other markets. So we opened a second location in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas in 2015. And that has been really exciting. What they say about everything being bigger in Texas is true, even the problems. So that was a big challenge for our first stab at expansion, but things are going great over there now. And then we also opened Phoenix last year. So we're just really excited about the growth with 3 locations now, and great to have U of A on board. So that's just a little bit of our story. Like I said, because my business partner and I are both U of A grads, and we actually, I'd say about 80% of our employees are also current U of A family studies and human development majors. So U of A is a very big part of who we are too as a business. Aside from just doing corporate sick and emergency backup care, and I should preface it by saying sometimes when I say corporate care, it's just an industry term for the sake of the University of Arizona. It would be sick and emergency backup care, but they're one and the same. We also obviously do private residential care. So families come to us with a variety of needs. We provide care to families that just need the occasional date night on a Friday night or backup care. And then we all the way up for families who are looking for a full-time nanny. And we would act like matchmakers and really get to know the family and match based on compatibility and personality. So we are a full service agency. We staff churches. A lot of churches hire us to staff their nurseries and Sunday school rooms. And we have also a big resort care program here in Tucson. A lot of the resorts refer us for families who are staying at the Ritz-Carlton or Los Ventana Canyon and need a sitter there. And then also event childcare staffing as well. So companies will hire us to come into the conference rooms and provide a childcare service. So we are full service, and really proud of some recent awards. We won Service Firm of the Year and Best in Industry, and these are things that we're really proud of and just a testament to our relentless pursuit of excellence. One of the things that Caroline and I have really tried to do as we've grown is maintain that small business feel even as we've grown. We still write handwritten birthday cards to every child that's a member of our agency for private residential care and little things like that. And so I think you'll find that you're not just working with a big national company, you're working with someone that's right down the road. We're on Campbell, and we're here for you. And this is just something that is exciting for us. So I'm gonna now dive in and talk more about the program. This is our second year with the university, and so we've had, the first year went great, but as always, and we feel that there's always room for improvement, so we take all of your feedback, and we always are continually seeing what we need to add, what we need to take away, what we need to streamline, and that's just going to be an ongoing endeavor for us, but we're looking forward to this second year. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen now for a little bit and walk you through some of the specifics of the program itself. I want you to know too that at the end, we're going to open it up for questions. So there's a little chat box as part of the webinar at the bottom here. And if you have a question, go ahead and type it. I won't get to it probably until the end, but they'll be there, and we'll go through all of those as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. All right, so here we go. When you register with our agency, part of what you'll be getting is an ebook that'll have this information for you. And so I'm not going to read it to you, but I'm going to just add tidbits of information for you to know as well. So you're going to get a lot more out of the webinar than you would if you just read the materials. That was certainly a goal for me. Can everybody see my screen? Can you see it, Lourdes?
Yes, perfectly. Thank you.
Perfect. Yes. Okay, so the first thing I want to mention is, like I said, my business partner and I, both U of A grads, we were professional nannies as well, so we've been on all sides of the equation. We've been a nanny. I'm a mom. I have two little girls. I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old who just started kindergarten, and then I'm also an agency owner. So I've really experienced all sides of the triangle, and this really helps me in dealing with and serving families and serving nannies, is that I truly understand all perspectives. And same with Caroline. She just had her first baby, which is really exciting for us. And so as moms, this is a personal business to us as well. And genuine care for your family and understanding of what you're going through. And we really do want to be partners for you in parenting. We believe that parenthood deserves a tribe and that you shouldn't have to do things alone. And major kudos to the U of A and other organizations that are finally starting to realize and see how important a benefit like this is. Y'all are so lucky to have such wonderful employers, because this is truly a great service to help you with that work-life balance. So the way that it works is that the U of A subsidizes a very, very large portion of this service. And all they ask of you is that you pay a $5 copay when you use the service, and that is an hourly copayment. So again, U of A's, the rates that you're seeing on the right-hand side, they are a little different for Tucson and Phoenix, but the rates that you're seeing are the full subsidized rate, and then you as a client would just pay the $5 hourly co-payment. The only time that U of A would not pay their full portion is if you scheduled care outside of the eligible dates. You'll see on the left, we've listed all of the blackout dates. So if you were to schedule care at a time that you weren't eligible, or for a reason that wasn't qualified as a legitimate reason, then you would be responsible for paying those full amounts. The only other time is if you cancel with less than 4 hours notice. We still have to charge for that. And so the U of A would not be paying that rate. You would be paying the full hourly rate. Most agencies have a 4-hour minimum. It's pretty standard in our industry. We recognize that sometimes you just need, you know, an hour to do a class or whatever. And so we have a 2-hour minimum, but the only caveat to that is, and it ends up saving our clients more money in the long run, is anything less than a 3.5-hour shift is considered quick care. And so it would be a little bit more per hour, but again, that is something that the U of A would take on, and your co-payment would remain the same. And then we do have a 2-hour minimum. So you do have to pay for 2 hours, regardless of, you know, even if you use it for 1. So you're allotted 10 usages throughout the year for either sick and or backup care services. The year starts July 1 and ends June 30th. They don't roll over, but you will need to re-register and renew each year. So the process is, you're going to start with the U of A, you go to LifeWork Connections, there's going to be a different link for employees and students, and so you would click on that to register first with the U of A. This is something at this time that you need to do annually, so just anticipate that. Once you've registered with the U of A for this year, they are going to supply you a link to register then with us. If you've already used the program last year, you will not have to go through our whole registration process twice. You'll actually go through a renewal process, which is slightly condensed because we want to save you as much time as possible. But it is, just know that it is a 2-step process. You register with the U of A, and then you re-register or register with us. Once you've registered, you're good to go, and you can call on us when you need us. The blackout dates, like I mentioned, do exist, and they're on the left-hand side there. We want families to know that typically you do have to become a member of our agency, or you do have to become a member of our agency to use services. We've secured an exclusive discount for you through this partnership, where U of A employees and students who are participating in this benefit. It's not just for all employees and students, but if you're already participating in this benefit, you can get 50% off of any membership that you choose. And this is awesome, because then it makes it a little cheaper for you to get your foot in the door to use us if you use up all of your usages, or you just want to use us for date nights or something that isn't traditionally covered under the employee benefit. The little disclaimer on the bottom just reminds you that this information that I'm giving you now and the information that you see in our materials is secondary to the U of A. The information that they have about the program will take precedent on their website, but hopefully we're on the same page, which I'm confident that we are. So you just have multiple ways to access the information. What to expect when you use one of our caregivers. Our caregivers will arrive at your home in dress code, and that could be a Trusting Connections t-shirt with jeans or khakis, or it might be a polo with jeans or khakis. If caregivers are working with infants, we do approve loungewear type pants, as long as the top part is fully covered by a shirt, because we want our caregivers to be comfortable. We want them to be getting on the ground and playing with kids and interacting with them. And so we want them to be able to be flexible and comfortable, but still be professional and modest. So we have really strict guidelines with that our caregivers follow. They also should be arriving with a name badge for security reasons, so that you know that whoever's knocking on your door is there with us. One of the things that I'm confident makes us really unique too is that it's so important to us that you're not just a number. And there's a lot of you, so it's a challenge for us, but we really go the extra mile to get to know who you are. And so we offer all of you that are registered with the program a 15-minute complimentary consultation with our care director. And it's part of our onboarding process with you. So we want to get to know you, what your values and your beliefs and your parenting styles are like, so that we can provide more personalized care. We believe that quality care is when a nanny or caregiver is an extension of who you are as a family. So we want to know your household rules, how you approach nutrition, how you approach behavioral modification, all that good stuff. And then we create what we call a family care guide. The family care guide is posted to your client portal, and our caregivers have access to it, so that by the time they reach your home, they already know your emergency contacts and your household routine and your schedule, so you don't have to worry about reiterating all of that important information while you're rushing out the door. Same with pet names and kids' names. So it's just a really nice tool that we have to make sure that we're all on the same page. At the end of the shift, our caregiver will create a Care Connect card for you, which is just a communication log telling you what went on during the day. In an effort to try to be more environmentally friendly, this year we implemented electronic Care Connect cards. So a nanny should never be on her phone for personal reasons, but you might see her on her phone filling out one of our Connect cards and having you sign an electronic receipt. If you prefer her to fill out the hard copy, it's about this yay big and it's teal. If you wanted her to fill that out and that's a preference, I'm saying her, but it's really her or him, that's something that you can certainly request. There are 3 ways to schedule care. We have now a client portal, which makes it easy for you to request care any time of day or night and see care confirmations in live time. So you'll be able to see when the shift was booked. You can also call the agency or you can email, and this guide will tell you, when to call and who to call and everything you need to know. In general, if we're open and it's a last minute request, we always want you to call us. Even if we're not open, we still want you to call us and call the after hours line. Please don't email us at 3 o'clock in the morning for a shift that starts at 6 a.m. because as much as I'd love for my staff to be reading, no, I'm just kidding. I don't want them to read their emails at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I have had families be upset about that in the past, and we have work-life balance and we are not checking emails at 4 o'clock in the morning. However, we are answering your phone calls 24/7 and we have a great after hours line for you to call. So even if it is 4 a.m. and you got to get to work at 6 and you need last minute help, we are there. I do always, just as a general rule, and I tell my staff, I much rather under promise and over deliver. I will tell you that we don't have guaranteed availability. I cannot promise you that every time you call us, we're going to be able to fulfill your request. What I will tell you is this: across all of our agencies in all 3 cities, of any type of call that comes in, whether it's last minute, an hour before, or a week in advance, we have an average of a 98% fulfillment rate throughout the year, total average. That means that, and it's a number we're really, really proud of, it's something that's not very common in our industry. It means that 98 out of 100 times we can fulfill and we can meet your need, but there also is that time when we can't. For corporate care, segmented out for last minute emergency backup care for our corporate clients, our fulfillment rate is a 94% average. There are some months when we surpass that, some months when we dip a little below. So I just want to give you kind of a feel for what that might look like. We are always anticipating staffing needs, but sometimes things happen where it's just more than we anticipated. For example, rodeo break is always a tricky time for us because we have kiddos that are randomly out of school and we have all of our nannies are sick with the flu and kids are sick with the flu and they need a caregiver. So, there are more challenging times, but in general, we are really good about accommodating even super last minute requests for care. You can call us 24/7, 365 days a year, even at a moment's notice. We make payment for your copay as convenient and secure as possible. You will not be paying in cash. You will be just keeping a card on file with us. We accept all major forms of credit card, including Discover and American Express. And then we also accept ACH as well. And then what happens is you have an account on file with us. We charge you automatically for the services you use. Each Monday, you'll get an electronic receipt showing what you're being charged for the week prior. You'll have 24 hours to kind of look at that and let us know if anything looks funky because we'll be charging your account automatically in the next few days. So it is weekly. If you do cancel with less than 4 hours notice, you are charged for the full booking. So that's just something to keep in mind, and that's something that you as an employee or student would be responsible for, not the University of Arizona. And then also cancellation should always be made via phone, not email. Again, we might not get the email that says, I don't need the nanny in the next hour and a half or in the next 5 hours. And if we don't get that, then we won't be able to cancel on time and you would be charged. So just something to keep in mind. So I think, and as a parent, I can imagine that one of the reasons why you're here is, who are these people that are going to be taking care of my most precious children? And as a mom, I understand that more than you can imagine. We are proud that we have one of the most rigorous screening processes in the country. We are one of the only agencies that routinely drug tests. We require knowledge-based exams. So we have what we call TC's Core Care Competencies exam that our caregivers have to pass, showing that they have knowledge of child development and general child care skills. All of our caregivers are 18 years or older, have a minimum of a high school diploma, although many of them are college educated, as I mentioned. They have to have 2 years of professional childcare experience, and we would define that as care that's paid or volunteer, but outside of your own friends or family. Legally able to work in the U.S., obviously, access to a reliable transportation with a clean driving record. Driving is not permitted for the use of this benefit, but we do drive in other situations for private clients, and doing a motor vehicle check is part of our background check process. We know that standard computerized background checks are generally not very effective. And so we've partnered with a local private detective that investigates all of our caregivers by hand, which is huge. It's more expensive for us, but it is definitely yields a much better result in terms of screening, and that should offer you some security. Our caregivers have to pass both a phone interview and an in-person interview. We really make them jump through hurdles to be with our agency. In the in-person interview, in addition to the traditional type questions, we have a hands-on portion of our interview where we have a fake baby, and we have a swaddle blanket and clothes and diapers and wipes, and we ask the caregiver on the spot to change the baby's diaper, to swaddle the baby, to dress the baby. And so we get a really good feel. We actually just started this some other hands-on things where we have a nanny do a child's puzzle. It's not that we don't think they can do a puzzle, but it shows us how they think. And so we have some pretty fun and innovative things that we do with our interviewing. And so we're really getting to know these people. Document verification, obviously, they are TB tested, and we also pay for all of our caregivers to go through sex abuse awareness training. We believe that anyone who works with children should be able to recognize the signs of sexual abuse and know what to do in those circumstances, and know what kind of red flags to look for in sexual predators. And so we have all of our caregivers go through that as well, and that's something that we pay for. And the drug test, as I mentioned, they are all CPR and first aid trained and certified in adult, child and infant. And lastly, they complete our orientation, which involves pretty extensive training. This is something that, in the beginning when we first opened, and we said things like, our expectation of you is to leave a kitchen clean and tidy when you leave. That means something different to everybody. So one person might think that means leaving dishes in the sink. For us, we lay it out. Leaving a clean kitchen means no dishes in the sink. They're put in the dishwasher, things like that. So we have we call it our standards of excellence training that they go through, and they really get some good training as a result of that. We do use a CRM called Keep. It used to be called Infusionsoft, where we send a lot of email communication. I promise we will not bombard you, but we ask that you please do not unsubscribe, because if you do, you will be unsubscribing for all sorts of important information from us, like usages. So one of the things that we do is we keep you up to date on how many usages you have remaining, and those types of emails you won't get if you unsubscribe. If for whatever reason you want to stop receiving our emails altogether, let us know, and we'll do something to try to segment what you do receive. On the bottom right, we have our staff directory. We're really excited about our care director here in Tucson. She's new this year. Her name is Melissa Burham, and she just graduated from the U of A with a PhD in anthropology. And so just also another U of A grad, and she's one smart cookie. And she joked to me that she's definitely using her PhD because she's working and dealing with families, and you're all so different. And she's just wonderful. So she's a fellow Wildcat. And then in Phoenix, we have Anna Rizzo, who's also amazing. She also attended U of A, but also ASU, but we will not hold that against her. But she's fantastic, and I know that these ladies are going to take really good care of you. You'll also be working a lot with Katie. She's our scheduling manager, and she's the one that when you call and you said, hey, I need someone in a few hours, she's going to be working with you back and forth to make sure that happens for you. So I know that you'll enjoy working with our team. And I want to tell you too that if there ever is a time that you didn't enjoy your experience, whether it was with one of our caregivers or our staff, we send surveys to you on a regular basis, and we share those survey results with the University of Arizona, and we take them so seriously. And we'll almost always follow up with you, or especially follow up with the caregiver. You are our eyes and ears, and we have an incredible team of caregivers, and we want to keep it that way. If there's somebody that's performing, mediocre, we want to know about that. And so we encourage you to fill out those surveys and let us know. We care very much about you having an exceptional experience. So just know that our doors are always open for that. We are really involved on social media and in our community, so feel free to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter. And my business partner told me, we had a meeting the other day, and she told me that I really aged myself because those things are no longer relevant and we need to be on Snapchat. But we are not on Snapchat, and I am really going to hold my ground on that one, but this is where we are so far. So we hope that you'll join us on one of those social media platforms. And now I just want to open it up to you all and see what questions I can answer for you. And I'm going to go ahead and stop my share. So you should just be seeing me now. I'm going to open the chat box, and it doesn't look like anyone has typed anything so far, but I want to encourage you, if you do have a question, feel free to put it in the chat. If you look on the bottom portion of the meeting, you'll see the little bubble and it says chat, and you can just type a question in there, and then we can answer it in live time. Lourdes, is there anything that you can think of that I didn't cover?
No, I think you covered everything pretty well.
Okay. Well,
there's no questions.
Yeah. Well, I have a question, and we'll give it a few minutes so you guys have time to think. I know that I just threw a lot of information at you. Okay, so Jennifer asked, I may have missed it, but is the copay the same if we have multiple children? I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. Yes, the copay is exactly the same, so you don't pay a difference. It's $5 regardless of the number of kids you have. We want to make that super easy and convenient for you, and we don't want you to have to say, well, this hour they were with this many, and it's just $5 an hour regardless of the number of children you have. If there was a situation where for whatever reason you had more than 5 children, we would have to talk about that and potentially have 2 caregivers, and so you would have 2 copays. Will you expand to Flagstaff anytime soon for faculty that are on extension appointments? That's a really good question. We definitely have expansion plans. We are opening a 4th location out of state. In terms of in Arizona, it's something that we're happy to talk about, and I know that the U of A is really good about looking and assessing their needs and seeing how the program is growing and changing, and I know that they will continue to be in communication with us if that becomes an ongoing need. Okay, so do we pay, the next question is, do we pay out of pocket, or is there a UA fund? This might be a question for Lourdes. So the copay itself, so the total hourly rate that we charge, U of A subsidizes the vast portion of that, and they take care of that behind the scenes. The clients, you would just owe a $5 copay for every hour that you use the service. You can pay with credit card, we accept all major forms, or pay with ACH. You just keep an account on file with us. We charge you automatically for the services that you use. Deb, I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, go ahead and feel free to ask a follow-up question. The next is, can I register now since the deadline is past the 30th of June? Lourdes, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you could register at any time during the year, correct?
The fiscal year runs from July 1st until June 30, so it's open for register throughout the fiscal year. But as you expressed previously, everybody needs to re-register every year. So yes, registrations are still open.
So it sounds like there was some misunderstanding that they thought the deadline was June 30th of this year, but it's June 30th of next year. You can register at any time during. Okay, perfect. And yes, you can most certainly register now. Okay, so the next one from Renee, can we get a PDF of the information you went over? Yes, so that's what we would call our ebook. And when you register with us, you're gonna get all of that. If you want it ahead of time, I'm more than happy to provide that to you. In fact, it's actually on the website. I'm gonna pull that up really quickly and show you, because I should have mentioned this anyway. This is a good place for you guys to know about. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. Hopefully you won't see pictures of my kiddos in the background. That wouldn't be too bad. They're pretty darn cute if I do say so myself. Okay, so from our website, and I have no idea why it's taking our homepage so long to load, but from our homepage, if you go to, sorry, I apologize. Can you see my screen, Lourdes?
Yes, I do.
I don't know why it's taking so long to load this. Okay, so it's freezing on me. So this is, I apologize, I thought it was from the menu. If you actually just go to trustingconnections.com/SBUCP, it's the acronym for the program, we have a page, and on that page it has more information about the program, and this is a roundabout way of saying that you can access this ebook yourself by visiting this webpage. Again, it's trustingconnections.com/SBUCP, and over here on the right it has read our ebook, program guidelines, also talks more about how you get started, and once you're registered, you can update your information and request care there as well. So that is that. Yes, you're welcome, Deb. Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, does anybody else have any other questions at all? I want to remind you too that if you, for whatever reason, don't get the chance to ask your questions here, you can always email us. It's info@trustingconnections.com. We're happy to talk to you just ahead of time. If you want to call us and learn more about it, we're happy to do that. And I know that if you have any questions directed for the University of Arizona, Lourdes and Joe are wonderful, and they're there for you as well. Any other questions in the chat box?
I think everybody, it's done for today.
Okay.
Thank you, Rosalind, for joining us. Thank you, everybody. And just a little reminder, this presentation was recorded, so it will be available soon for those who want to share with other people. Thank you, and have a nice day. See you.
Thank you so much. And we really are looking forward to working with your families, and just appreciate you taking the time to learn more about our service. So thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.